now.
Recovery doesn't start tomorrow.
Calling all angels.
Recovery starts right now. And here to help is Rated R for Recovery.
Calling all you angels now. Calling all angels now. Calling all you angels.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Rated R for Recovery. We are on YouTube every Tuesday at 6 p.m. and a live stream. So if you'd go onto YouTube and like and subscribe, we'd appreciate it. And then there's also a little bell you can click on, and that gives you notifications on whatever we are going to notify you of. I'm an addict. My name's John.
Hey, John.
And my co-host.
I'm just a nice girl who could never say no. My name is Joy. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Joy. We have a wonderful show today. We have our friend Terry, who's next to me, Chris from Stepping Stones Recovery Center, and we have a young lady making her television debut, and we're going to hear a lot from her as time goes on. One of the premier vocalists in Collier, Charlotte, and Lee counties, Sara, will be our musical guest, all right? And now, so if that wasn't a good invitation, I don't know, or recommend, whatever you call it, introduction, I don't know what is.
We call it.
Joy.
Yes.
Would you tell our audience what is Rated R for Recovery?
Rated R for Recovery is a recovery-based, faith-driven program bringing help, healing, and restoration to individuals impacted by addiction through interviews, entertainment, and sharing information. Yeah. We strive to be a catalyst for all who wish to recover. I haven't memorized it yet. I hadn't pulled it up, so there you have it.
So you did a wonderful job.
It's quite a long mission statement.
And you did a wonderful job. So that's what we are, ladies and gentlemen. We're here to support the recovery community. So our demographic, as we say in radio, is unfortunately everybody. Demographics are age specific, gender specific. But in this case, we're everybody specific because unfortunately, and correct me if I'm wrong, that everybody, whether they be sitting here today in our studio audience or listening at home, has somebody that's been affected by drugs and alcohol, whether it be a family member, a coworker, a neighbor, somebody that's been affected by drugs and alcohol. And that is a really sad statistic, Joy.
It is, and it's fatal.
It's a shame. It is a shame. So we have some things coming up that are going to be here at Kimmies Recovery Zone. By the way, we do the show at the KRZ Studios, which is located at 507 Center Road in Fort Myers, Florida. We do this show, once again, every Tuesday night, but we stream it on YouTube so you can go back and watch old episodes or watch the reels we put up there.
24 hours a day.
Yes, you could if you wanted to. You could. So like if you have those shows that you stream and you get addicted to, maybe you could get addicted to watching Rated R for Recovery and continuously stream us. I don't know. Joy, what do you have over there?
What I have are a couple things going on at Kimmies, and one is called Coffee and Canteen. It's the last Thursday of every month. It's here from 8 to 10, or you can Zoom to get it. Start your morning with hot coffee and good company. Enjoy uplifting fellowship with fellow veterans, followed by grocery shopping for all veterans in need. Come early, stay connected, and leave with essentials.
Very nice.
I know. And the other thing is something that's close to my heart. It's called WRAP, W-R-A-P, Wellness Recovery Action Plan. Your wellness, your way. It says, we don't want to leave grief unspoken. This is a safe and caring space to share, heal, and find hope. They use the Wellness Recovery Action Plan, and they get practical tools to support healing, build resilience, and nurture hope. It's every Wednesday from 3 to 4 right here.
Wonderful, wonderful. And then the big event that Kimmies does every year as a fundraiser is called Recovery Party in the Park. And that this year is held at Lake Kennedy Center in Cape Coral, Florida. It will be held on September 12th. Begins at around 11 o'clock in the morning, and you'll get to see vendors from all over Lee, Charlotte, and Collier counties, and guest speakers, and everything recovery related. So that is once again on September 12th, starting at 11 o'clock in the morning at Lake Kennedy Center. In addition to that, one more announcement is the Country and Western fundraiser for Aruka that is being held in LaBelle, and that is on the 26th of September. It starts at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. It's all country all the time. So get your boots on and get ready to boogie. That's what that is.
All right.
I don't know about the accent, but I tried. So let's welcome our first guest, ladies and gentlemen, straight from Naples, Florida. This is Terry. Give Terry a nice round of applause.
Hi.
First of all, Terry, thank you for making the trek to come up here. You and I have known each other for a long time now.
Yeah.
I don't even know how long. How long?
I'm not sure, man. I guess
20
15,
years? Yeah,
15,
maybe. I don't-
18.
Well, do you remember when there was an event in Fort Myers at a hotel on 41 that's no longer there? And when I think of you, I always think of that evening. We were sitting around the table. I think it was like a banquet.
The Radisson.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
right.
where we were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, it was one of the area conventions for a certain 12-step fellowship.
Yeah.
Yes. Wonderful memory, Joy. Wonderful memory.
Good job. I was there.
Yes, he
I
was.
know.
And Kelly was there too, probably. I'm
Right.
sure.
Yeah.
Anyway, so thank you for being a guest on the show. And what we like to talk about is, you're doing so well, and what you do to help people in your area, whether it be rides to meetings, sponsor other men, take meetings into different facilities. But your life wasn't always like that, was it?
No, it was not.
When did this all start to go downhill for you?
So I think I was pretty young. I don't really know where my addiction started. I remember being a little kid, and my dad would be grilling out on the grill, and he'd have a beer out there, and I would always bug him that, can I have a drink of your beer? Can I have a drink of your beer? And I don't know what my attraction was, but I figured since my dad's doing it,
Yeah.
I should
Exactly.
try it too,
Yeah.
right? But I remember finally he caved, and I remember I really disliked the taste of it, but you know how it talks about in the big book where we like the effect produced, and for me it made me feel like a grown-up, sort of, I feel like. So whenever he would grill out again or had a beer, I would always try to bug him. But he was a really good dad, so he didn't give it to me too often, but that was my first experience with alcohol. And then later on in high school, some friends of mine got together and they got hold of some beer and asked me if I wanted to go with them, and I said, yeah, sure, I'll go, because I wanted to be part of the thing.
Sure,
Right?
yeah,
I wanted to be there
absolutely.
with everybody, and I still didn't like the taste of it, but I think I got more inebriated than I did when I was a little kid sipping my dad's beer, right? So more of I like the effect produced, right?
Yeah,
And,
absolutely. Joy,
yeah.
do you remember your first, when you can say you crossed the line from,
I crossed the line immediately. I was 11 years old. It was in a field, one of my older friends, and they passed around this bottle of bourbon that was disgusting. But I drank too much. I blacked out. I passed out. I made a
Really?
fool of myself. And I never drank bourbon again.
interesting, and I remember sipping parents or adults' beers. I remember the fizz and the
Yeah.
taste and the smell.
Mm.
But it was nothing that was no big deal. And I didn't get any effect produced by it because all I did was maybe like that, and that was it.
Mhm.
And my addiction didn't take over till I was 21 years old when I did my very first, or 20 years old when I did my very first line of cocaine. And that's when it got me.
Yep.
Now, it's your story, not mine.
So for me, I didn't really. I guess my addiction slowly progressed, right? After we drank, we smoked some weed, and then speed, and then just whatever came along, I became willing to try, right? And then I ended up getting married and had some kids, and I moved from
Whoa. You went from drinking a few beers to smoking some weed, doing some speed, then got married, like bang, bang, bang?
Yeah, kind of like that.
That's how it goes.
Okay,
And-
all right.
And I before that, I lived in Illinois. I was a bartender, and
Rat.
Joy is from Illinois, so
Near
now this is
Peoria.
going to start a whole new
near a little
conversation
town near
here.
Peoria.
I know
Yeah.
Peoria.
Very
So
good.
anyway, all I was doing was at that point drinking, using drugs, and going to the bar. I'd get started at the bar, and then later on in the evening, after the bar, our bar closed,
Closed.
I would go to different bars.
Did
right?
you have after-hours clubs?
After parties and yeah.
Now, when you say you were drinking, and did you drink while you worked too?
Yes.
And
yeah.
did you smoke weed while you worked, like go out in the backyard or something?
Usually waited till after.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so anyway, one of my friends, I felt like something needed to change, but I didn't really, I thought maybe if I just get out of here, right? And one of my friends came into the bar and said he was going to come to Florida and try and find a job, right? And so I said, well, mind if I ride along with you? And
Were you married?
no, not at that
No.
point. Not
Okay.
yet. I wasn't married
That's
yet.
exactly how I got to Florida.
Yeah.
It was in a bar, and somebody said, "Hey, we're opening a tile store in Fort Myers," and my husband was laying tile.
Right?
Here we are.
Yeah.
He still does to this day.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Okay, so go. So you come to
So
Florida.
yeah, so I came to Florida, and my addiction, I was still drinking and smoking weed, but that was pretty much it, right? And then I got the job, right? And when I came, and my friend ended up moving back, but I stayed, and then I met this girl, and we got married, and she was a addict too, but we were functional at that
Yeah,
point.
when you say addicts, just because a lot of people tend to come and talk to us about drinking and drugging, but if it is so, my theory is if it takes over my life and my decision making, and it gets in the way of my job, my relationship with my family, my ability to be a productive member of society, that's how I kind of view it. How about you, Joy?
Yeah, exactly. And I was thinking of changing, if it changes your personality, it's something to
Exactly.
watch for. Even if you think it makes your personality better, it's still changing who you are. But do you think if you were just drinking and smoking pot that you would still be doing that?
Great question.
Who knows? Yeah.
Who knows, really? You know what I'm saying? I don't really know.
Did the drinking and drugging at that point get in the way of you being a productive member of society?
I don't really feel like it did. Maybe somebody else maybe did, but for me, I
Like the
I was
landlord?
okay with
The
it,
other
right?
people.
Yeah, those normal people, right? I don't know. So,
Okay.
yeah, but anyway, so I was married. I was married for 14 years. We had 2 kids. Everything was going along okay. Me and my wife were still smoking and smoking weed and drinking, but that was it. We didn't really venture out past that. And then one day, she ended up having an affair, and it
Oh,
hurt me, right? You know what I'm saying? And so she left, and I was there. I still had the kids stayed with me at that point, and I didn't know what to do with myself, man. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know. So my kids were at like teenagers at that point. They were kind of doing their own thing, sort of. So I went to a bar, and like I had always done when I was in Illinois, right? And so that's when my addiction started taking off. I got to that point where you kind of just say F it. You don't really know what to do, and I don't know. Addiction's there. It's waiting for you, man. If you
When you say addiction, did you switch off to other drugs?
so started going to the bars. I've always been a pool player. I love playing pool. I love going to bar and playing pool, and so I would go there and hang out and pretty much, drink, go around behind the bar with the guys and smoke weed and stuff like that. Coke wasn't really around that much, but whenever I had opportunity, I would. But then one day, and I was selling weed to try and keep my habit going, right? Because I don't know, it's always better to have somebody else pay for your party, right?
Sure.
But this friend of mine called me on the phone, and she said, a friend of mine bought too much Coke, and I was just wondering, he has some extra. Would you like to get some? And I said, well, yeah,
Oh,
sure.
no.
I have to interrupt for
No
a second.
thanks.
A friend of mine bought too much Coke.
Yeah.
Now, I cannot relate to that statement. There is never too much Coke in my world. Okay, and if you had extra and you wanted to give it to me, I'm all in. But
And if I
thank
had extra,
God,
I wasn't giving it away.
God, that I've never heard that before. That's why I had to stop you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to remember that.
Yeah.
A friend of mine bought too much Coke.
That was
What a dilemma.
That was her way of I guess letting me know that if I wanted to start selling it for her, that I could.
Because you were doing the little lead
Right.
sell.
Yeah, I was
And
doing-
what did you
yeah.
say?
Yeah, bring it. Right. Yeah. And then it just progressed from there, and
You became your best customer? One of those
became
things?
one
Well,
of my
and
best-
so you were a social Coke snorter
so-
or whatever?
So
Because
the
I'm the only social crackhead that I know.
yeah,
I could take it or leave it. I didn't.
Social crackhead. You take a
Yep.
hit and so shall I.
Yeah.
I don't think I was necessarily that social, but I used the bar atmosphere for.
So anytime somebody wanted to gram a blow, they knew they could go to this bar, and Terry was at this bar, and he was posted up there, and he had the shit on him, and you could go and buy it there.
Right.
Okay. How did this affect you and your life moving forward?
Yeah, that's when, of course, in the beginning it was manageable, right? But then after a while it starts becoming
Taking over.
unmanageable, right? Taking over, and it's one of the crazy things to me how subtle addiction is, right? I mean, you start out with your friends having a couple drinks or whatever, right? And then one day you wake up and you're in this whole different world, and
How did I get here?
Yep. What
know, right?
happened?
Cunning, baffling, powerful, without help, it's
Right.
too much for us.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
so
How
whether
bad-
you have, and whether you fall into it and you're just like in the middle, all of a sudden you're like, what happened? Or whether you're a person who says, oh my gosh, this is happening. This is happening. This is
Yeah.
still happening. Oh, it's happening. And you still go down that road.
So how bad did it get?
Well, I became my best customer, like you said, and
That's bad for business.
yeah, arrested a few times. Nothing too heavy. I had some felony charges on my.
Only people like us can say that.
Yeah.
So if
Nothing
you're,
too
if you're at the
bad.
country
I was
club,
arrested a
you're
couple
at the
times.
country club, just coming off the golf course, sitting around a table of people and saying, "Oh yeah, I've been arrested. I'm a 5-time convicted felon." It is not.
But it was nothing too bad.
It is so a part of our lifestyle
Right.
and our recovery or in our stories that it becomes the norm, which never was the norm before.
Well, and like Nicole said a few weeks ago, and I'll never forget this, when she was like, and then I realized, oh, we're the bad guys.
Yeah.
That's right. I forgot
know?
about that. Yes. All right. So go ahead. I'm sorry.
So yeah. So I don't know. I was. I guess I was trying to manage it, right? I mean, I would go to the bar and, sell part of the night, right? And then when I got tired of that, then I would go home and I'd start smoking myself. And
When you say smoking, you're smoking the
yeah,
coke now?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So it went
And-
from snorting blow
Yes, yes.
to smoking crack or at
Right.
maybe freebase at the
freebasing,
time.
whatever. Yeah,
Yeah.
right. So
And that gets you by the short hairs.
Yes, it did. And I was still also working because I still needed more money.
Yeah, I
right?
wondered about
You know?
that, whether
So,
this
yeah,
was,
but that was like starting to get really dysfunctional at that point, because
You
I'd be
think?
at the bar all night, and then I'd go home and keep the party going, and then I'd have to like just change clothes and go to work and try and work all day, and then in my mind I'm saying, oh my God, man, I'm so tired, I got to get some sleep tonight, and then about 3:30 I'm starting to think, well, there is happy hour at the bar, and maybe
Yeah.
I should just stop in and get a sandwich.
and all of a sudden you've been up for 3 days, 4 days.
Yeah, right.
To hear what he said though, he
Yeah,
said that,
sandwich.
I would stop at the bar and get a sandwich. There's a story in one of the books of recovery that's called Suddenly Jim, And Jim stops at a bar and he has this great idea that because he goes there to have lunch every once in a while, but they also serve alcohol there. And he has a great idea that he has a glass of milk with his lunch, and he thought it might be a good idea to put a little ounce of whiskey in his milk. And it's because I don't have a drinking problem, I got a thinking problem. And if I change the way I think, then I change the way I live. My mind is going to tell me I can do a little bit. My mind's going to tell me I can just go there for a sandwich. My mind is going to tell me X, Y, Z. My mind is a liar.
Yeah.
And once I get some recovery in me and start to be armed with some facts about myself, I start to realize that my worst enemy is me.
And by the time I got sober, all I really had was this and this. And I was going to have to give them both up. I didn't trust anybody anymore.
Interesting point.
And I had to give them both up, and it was hard.
So Terry, you're working, which I think is admirable, because work got in the way of me getting high, so I didn't work. So what was the point where you give us the scenario of when you gave up and surrendered and said, I can't do this anymore?
So I never really gave up. I just kind of kept going for it, and then I had an intervention by the Collier County Sheriff's Department.
In what way?
I got arrested, and
For what?
I had possession charges. I had
Possession with intent or just possession?
no, just possession.
Nothing too bad.
They could have gave me possession with intent, but knock on wood, or maybe thank my higher power that they didn't, right? And I had an outside attorney, and he asked me if I'd ever heard of drug court. And so I said no, but
Sounds like a good scam.
yeah, right. He explained to me that if I could successfully complete this year-long program, that I didn't have to do jail time, right? And I was all about that because I absolutely hate jail. It's the worst thing for me, man.
No, just,
And you know what the worst part for me is laying there in your cell thinking about your friends on the outside going on with their lives, and you're in there just stuck, man.
I've been there.
It's the pits. So I said, and the other people in jail are telling me, oh man, don't do drug court. It's a setup. You're going to fail,
Yep.
right?
that's the same thing that happened when I was offered felony drug court, that everybody said that it's a setup. You're going to fail at this.
It's set
They
up
want
to
to send
fail
you
you.
up the road, meaning they want to send you to prison. That's where you're going to end up going. Except this one guy took me aside in the block that I was on
Yeah.
and said, come here. He says, if you really want to stop and you really want to change your life, drug court will be the best thing you ever did.
Yeah.
And I listened to him because he was an OG, as they
Right.
Yeah.
say out there.
Yeah.
And so he knew what he was
Nice.
talking about.
Yeah.
So you took drug court.
So I took drug court, right? And my plan was I'm going to do this program for a year, and then I'm going to go back to using, right? I mean, that was where my thinking was at that point in my life. I was all in, right? And I think one of the requirements for drug court was that I had to attend 4 meetings a week.
Yep.
Right. And I had never been to a meeting before. And I, to be honest with you guys, I don't think I probably ever would have walked into a 12-step meeting myself. But I went there, and I was still trying to sell drugs while I was in drug court in the beginning, and that
Oh.
got really crazy, man.
Did
Oh,
you
I
get
bet.
caught doing
I
that?
did.
Did you
I
have
didn't.
customers?
I had customers.
Yeah.
I did not get caught, but I came real close, right? And that was kind of a scary thing for me. And then the judge that I had when I pled in was a older guy, right? And he was a nice judge, man. And he would call you up. I had to go to court every Tuesday night in front of the judge, right? And I would go up there, and my case manager from David Lawrence would go up with me, and my probation officer would go up with me, and the judge would say, how's he doing this week? And as long as you were flying under the radar, they would say, oh, he's doing what he's going to his meetings, he's going to group, he's doing all that. And the judge would say, all right, well, great, I'll see you next week. And that was it. So I wasn't really motivated to change anything.
What motivated you then?
I got a new judge. He decided to retire,
Oh,
and they got a woman judge in there. And when she called you up, she would ask you all these questions about recovery. And I've been supposed to be going to meetings for like 3 weeks, right? Or 3 months. And I didn't know what
So she would question sponsor, home
yeah,
group,
yeah.
service
Yeah.
work.
right. She'd say like, so what steps your sponsor got you working on, or stuff like that, you know, and I'm like, duh. And I thought, oh man, this lady's going to catch me. And, you know, then it hit me, man, I've already been caught, you know, what's going on. So, I thought I better get a sponsor, right? I'd asked some people before and got their number, but then I never called them or
Sure.
anything, right? And, so I asked a guy, to be my sponsor, and, I picked a guy that was not too tough, and in reality, God put the exact person in my life that I needed. Right?
God doing for us what we can't do for
Yeah,
ourselves.
right.
And I can see the pattern happening with Terry all through this time, that these things are happening, that God, that is, you know, that
They're
I
moving
think-
you slowly but
Yeah.
surely.
but I think comes from that power that loves us, and
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
and so
Yeah, my friend always said, I always thought every time I got caught, every time something bad happened, I always thought it was God out to get me.
Yep.
And what I realized was that every time he was saying, you know, can I help you?
Right.
Can I help you now? And I'd say, no, I got this, and
got
go
this.
about my way.
I think I might know that person.
Mm-hmm.
So what a wonderful way to have my thinking change, and it happens sometimes without us even realizing it. And then to be clean and living dirty, which means you're being clean but you're still selling dope.
Yes.
That doesn't work either.
That was
No.
tough,
And
man.
luckily, the intervention came through this judge.
Yeah.
And so, what do you consider your sobriety date?
April 25th, 2006, which is the day that I pled into drug court.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
That's
thanks. Yeah.
very good.
Yeah.
All right. So, April, so you just celebrated 20 years.
Yeah.
Congratulations
Yeah,
on that. That's
thank you.
huge. That's
Thank you.
huge. So,
Yeah.
what's life like today?
It's awesome, man. It's awesome. I mean, really. I feel like one of the biggest gifts that recovery gives me is that I love who I am today.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying?
Me too. I love life too.
Yeah, right?
I have
It's
so much fun.
It's exciting. There's things to look forward to, right? And it's
yeah.
I owe it all to recovery, man. And of course my higher power, but yeah, I'm blessed.
Have we missed anything?
I don't know.
If there's anything that you'd like to say that we
You don't
haven't
know,
covered?
we don't know.
So, you know, I think real quick, you know, I think one of the things that I noticed, so when I was going to those meetings, right, and I'm just kind of hanging out there, and it seemed to me like there's two different groups of people that go to meetings, right? There are people that come in and their life's unmanageable, and they're struggling with their addiction, and you know, maybe have a court case or a DCF case, or they're going to lose their job or their home or their relationship, children, the whole, you know, all that negative stuff that happens to us in addiction. And then there was another group that seemed to be somewhat happy, right? And they're doing all the things that I heard about at the meetings, right? They got a sponsor, they're working the steps, they're reading the literature, they have a home group, they're being of service to their home group, and they're trying to help others, man. And I guess at some point I just decided, you know, which group do you want to really be in?
Yeah.
Man? Do you want to keep doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results, or would you like to try and do something about it? You know, and it's been one of the most important decisions that I've ever made in my life.
Oh,
man.
yes, I could see
You know?
that.
You know, they would say, if you want what we have, and I didn't hear that for a while. And then when I finally heard it, I was like, well, what do you got?
Yeah.
You know, and then I started looking around for what they might have that I might want. And I started finding things.
Yeah. Maybe some inner peace.
And then we realized that it's not the material stuff, that it's the happiness,
Right.
the one of the great things about this whole journey, for I can't speak for my two colleagues next to me, but I'm sure they'll agree, is that the people we meet along the way.
Mm.
And the journeys that the people that we come in contact with. And we might not see these people every day of the week, but when we see them, we can smile and say, good to see you, Terry from
right?
Naples.
Yeah,
Give
absolutely.
Terry a nice round of applause.
Thank you. Thanks.
All right. So we are going to take a commercial break. And when we come back, we have a segment called Kimmies Korner. And on Kimmies Korner, we're going to have Chris from Stepping Stones Recovery Center. We are Rated R for Recovery, ratedrforrecovery.com. Like us on the YouTube. We'll be right back.
Have you been charged with a crime? You could face serious penalties for conviction, and it is vitally important that you have skilled legal assistance on your side during this time. Call Brian L. Edwards, Esquire, Attorney at Law today. 888-512-6254. Results matter. With a track record of success, our methods are tried and true. Mistakes happen, but we can help. Brian L. Edwards, Esquire, Attorney at Law. Visit FortMyersCriminalLawFirm.com or call 888-512-6254.
Kimmy, I hope I'm making you proud.
He had a little girl named Kimmy with a laugh that lit the room. Then fentanyl came like a storm cloud and took her away too soon. He kneeled down by her bedside with a prayer he could not shake. Then he said, I won't just break here, I will build for others' sake. So he opened up the doors where the hurting could walk in, with a couch, a meal, a blanket, and a chance to start again. Kimmies Recovery Zone. Kimmies Recovery Zone. For our community. For our community. Where the hungry find a table and the lost can find a home. Kimmies Recovery Zone. Kimmies Recovery Zone. There are folding chairs and coffee. There are boxes by the wall. There are nights he stays up answering every single call. A father with a broken heart who turned pain into a light. Now he hands out help in silence till somebody makes it right. From the ashes of his sorrow, he made shelter out of grief. And now every soul that reaches finds a place to breathe. Kimmy's Recovery Zone. Kimmy's Recovery Zone. For a community. For a community. Where the hungry find a table and the lost can find a home. Kimmy's Recovery Zone. Kimmy's Recovery Zone. For Kimmy, he keeps going. For the ones who need a way. For the moms and dads and brothers who are fighting night by day. If your hands are full of falling, if your name feels far from hope, step inside, the door is open. You are not alone. Kimmy's Recovery Zone. Kimmy's Recovery Zone. For our community. For our community. Where the hungry find a table and the lost can find a home. Kimmy's Recovery Zone. Kimmy's Recovery Zone. Kimmy's Recovery Zone. Kimmy's Recovery Zone. For our community. For our community. Where the hungry find a table and the lost can find a home. Kimmy's Recovery Zone. Kimmy's Recovery Zone.
Kimmy, I hope I'm making you proud. Hi, this is Al Kinkle. We would like to invite everyone to Party in the Park 2026 on September 12th during National Recovery Month. This year's event will be held at Lake Kennedy Center in Cape Coral, Florida. For sponsorship packages and volunteer info, visit KimmiesRecoveryZone.org. Let's make this year's event the most memorable yet.
When children have to play inside so they don't disappear. Now,
Welcome back to Rated R for Recovery.
calling all angels.
Welcome back again, ladies and gentlemen. We are Rated R for Recovery on YouTube every Tuesday night, streaming live starting at 6 p.m. Come and be part of our studio audience here at 507 Center Road, which is Kimmies Recovery Zone, and be part of the group here. You're welcome to come in any time and ask questions or do whatever you want, well, within reason. Anyway, what?
Just come on in.
Yeah,
Whatever
just
you want.
come on down. Come on down. We're a barrel of. Speaking of a barrel of fun, next week we have another interesting show. We have got your episode of Kimmies Korner. My employer, Rob, will be telling his story
great.
about
Nice.
what he was like, what happened, and what he's like now as a sober person. And then our musical guest, straight from Nashville, Tennessee, Nashville recording artists Alan and Kelly will be
Love
here.
them.
And that's all next week right here at Kimmies Recovery Zone. So right now, ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to introduce the founder of Kimmies Recovery Zone, that gentleman you just heard on that video that you just saw. He is a wonderful man. He is a mentor of everybody that comes in contact with him. Ladies and gentlemen, the founder of Kimmies Recovery Zone, Mr. Al Kinkle.
Well, thank you, John. I appreciate that. And Mark, thanks for that video. Everybody's seen that video. Mark did that, and every time he does that, I skip a heartbeat. But it's really beautiful. Mark, thank you so much. Appreciate
You know what? We'll stop for a second because I don't give Mark and Eileen and everybody that works behind the scenes enough. Raylene, I don't ever mention them.
it. Mark
This
told
would
me
not
that
be-
earlier.
Did he?
Mark told me
and
that
you know,
earlier.
But Mark is our executive producer
Yes.
and creates all the IT stuff. So Mark and Raylene and Eileen, thank you very much. You do a
Yes.
great job.
and
Yes.
Mark, I tell everybody that I know that knows you what a great job this is, how wonderful this is.
No, this is unbelievable, and we wouldn't be here and online if I had anything to do with it because it would have been ruined. So thank you again, Mark.
Woo!
Raise it up, baby.
All right.
Okay, so
I'm tired of clapping now.
tonight we have Stepping Stone here, which is great people. I feel like they're friends forever with me. I got into them a little bit tonight. We talked a lot and about their mission and everything like that. So tonight I have Chris and I have Lisa here, and they're they're stepping up.
And what is Stepping Stone?
That's it. I'd like you to tell me what is Stepping Stone.
Sure. So Stepping Stone is currently we have an all-women's sober living home in Cape Coral, and we're structured, we're FAR certified, and yeah, we're excited to be here. So thanks for having us.
Okay.
you.
Lisa, why don't you say something about Stepping Stone, because you had some great insight for me tonight. And I'll ask you some questions, but just kick it off.
We are, as you just heard, a women's home, and we really developed this with a lot of heart. And we want people to feel like they're actually at home, supported, with structure, with love, with no judgment. We really are very involved in the project. We're hands-on. We built this house actually we demoed it we ripped it apart, and we really worked on it very hard to make it a peaceful, serene sanctuary where people can really rebuild their lives. And that's what we're already starting to do, and we want to continue to do more and work with this wonderful collaborative, because there's just so many people that need that opportunity to be successful.
Okay, so what inspired you to create Stepping Stone Wellness Living, and what gap did you hope to fill in Lee County?
Well, initially what inspired us was, addiction and mental health have both affected Lisa and I one way or another. My father was an alcoholic who ultimately passed away from that, and my mother's been in recovery for 40 years.
Good.
Mental health has, an addiction is very much in Lisa's family, and unfortunately, we've lost close friends to overdoses. And
Like John said, we don't know anyone who hasn't been impacted in some
Sure.
way
No
by
question about it.
alcoholism and addiction,
Yeah.
mental health.
so that's the inspiration. We wanted to give back to the things that, affected us negatively through addiction. The gap that we wanted to fill when we just moved here from Boston about a year ago. And once we started this passion project, I noticed that there were some other sober living homes that didn't necessarily, for the lack of a better term, hold up their end of the bargain, I guess I'll
Okay.
say. So the gap that we wanted to fill was, hey, let's do this project, and let's do it to the best of our ability, and just try to be the best sober living option when people get, out of treatment and are looking for a place to live. So, and that was really the gap we wanted to fill.
Okay, and so you have a woman's home,
Yes.
and what drove you to a woman's home, number one, and then is there any plans to go differently as you go along, or is right now you're just planning on the woman's home? I know that, so.
Yeah, we're open to a lot of different options. We want to help people who need the most help. And right now, it appeared that women really are in need of housing, and safe housing. So that's where we started. We're only just starting. We have a big mission.
Oh, yeah. And
Yeah.
so is this for addiction only, or is it also mental health? Do you take both?
We do.
We do.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
Absolutely. Yep.
beautiful.
Yep. I mean, they're so intertwined, as we all know, but there are people that may be just strictly one or the other, and they're welcome as well. People that just want to kind of live the same type of lifestyle, healthy, safe, supportive lifestyle, are
Mhm.
welcome.
And the mental health and the addiction, they play with each other because, when we first started out, it was just addiction, this one's that, this one's, just a drug addict, just this.
Mhm.
No, it's not really true. And nobody was putting mental health and addiction together. They really weren't.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And now today, if you look out there, they're putting mental health and addiction together because something started that addiction.
Of course.
Absolutely.
And it could be, the family situation, it could be sexual abuse, it could be all kinds of stuff that started that creates a mental health trauma,
Mhm.
so really, you can't separate them. And I've argued that a long time and I lost in the beginning, but now it seems like a lot of people, brain health, getting that brain healthy is a big part
Sure.
of getting better.
Yeah. Oprah wrote a book called "What Happened to You."
Hmm.
I think everyone's really, our initial thought when you're dealing with someone or you see someone is, what's wrong with you?
Yeah.
But that's not it. It's what happened to you. And just to your point, Al, I mean, it's most of the stories that we hear all have a common theme, right?
Yeah. And stop putting name tags on people
Absolutely.
because it's not fair what happened to us when we were, whenever it happened, whatever age it was between 0 and 80, my
Absolutely.
age. So, so when you look at that, and you start understanding people a little bit better and look at people with a little kinder eye than you used to.
Mhm.
And I think it's starting to spread now throughout the communities. I know here in Lee County, there's so much kindness going on. It's unbelievable. I just really, it's just people like yourself coming into town. There's so many other agencies that work out there and collaborate with us.
Mhm.
And it's all done from the heart, and it's all done for kindness. And the stigma is starting to fade here anyway, for lack of a better term. It's starting to fade here. I think Lee County needs a badge of honor. They're really doing a great job.
Absolutely.
agree.
Absolutely.
I like that.
Yes. Okay. How is sober living different from treatment program, and why is the distinction so important?
Sure. So, we're sober living is bridging the gap from coming out of treatment to living on your own. So it's very important. We always say it at Stepping Stone that you're a product of your environment, right? So we feel as though if we create a beautiful home with house rules and structure and curfews and chores and house meetings and peer support and all those good things, that you will have a better chance at a successful recovery. So we feel that to give these women the best opportunity is really in our best interest as far as, their chances of a successful recovery.
So do I need to be sober before I come in the door?
Well, that's a great question. We are not a treatment center.
Right.
So, yes, you do, because I'm going to give you a breathalyzer and a urine test when you walk through the door. So, yes, you do. So we are not a treatment center, but we are bridging the gap between treatment and living on your own.
Good answer. Good question.
How
and a
long
good
can
answer.
how long can I stay there?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
Lisa and I have decided that there is no maximum length of stay. If you are thriving in our community, you can stay as long as you want.
And then how do I fund that stay? You know what I mean?
Yeah, so sober living is self-pay. So our residents, we have residents that are funded from family members, or we have scholarship programs that.
Okay.
Yep, and obviously people work.
Yeah, but
and-
so do I need to have a job before I come there?
Well, we can help as far as scholarship goes. We do require that residents are either working in school or volunteering.
Okay, well, I like
our
that
program.
in school part too.
So I want to go to something on
Yeah.
when you're talking about that. So having a safe, structured home, such as critical part of long-term recovery. So my understanding is your home is a structured environment. It's not loose, real loose. I mean, it's loose enough, but it's structured. You have more input of how the house is supposed to be.
Absolutely. It's not, we want the home to be a place where the women can rebuild their lives, but do it in a way that they're held accountable. And the way that we do that is we have curfews that, during the week, and on the weekends, we have a mandatory house meeting every Monday. We'll do random drug testing and urine analysis. We, do random searches and things of that nature. So the structured piece is the most important, in my opinion.
It is, because so many people just don't have, I had no structure
Mhm.
when I was out there. It was, just a whim, and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that and I'm going to do this now. And as long as there weren't any consequences, I just kept doing what I was doing.
Sure.
And then when we go into that, how do accountability and your house structure and your peer support help residents rebuild their lives? So you have in the house or home, you have peer to peer,
Absolutely.
and that structure works for your program.
No question. Yeah, I mean, I was telling a story that we had a house meeting yesterday, and just the sisterhood within the room was amazing.
Love it.
The women will come home from work, have dinner together, and almost have their own little meetings together
Yeah.
and support each other, which is honestly, there's people that have been in the house that I don't know would be doing as well as they are without that.
Mhm.
So we really created something special.
Yeah, it's nurturing, and it's also accountability.
Sure.
To
Absolutely.
to be together for a common purpose and to work toward that with someone else. You know, that's another thing that I didn't trust anybody at all by the time I got sober, and it wasn't easy for me. But to see people, whether it be at meetings or groups or whatever, striving together for a common goal, and to know that they were doing that outside of that hour meeting was big.
Absolutely.
It was huge.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, we're not, we use this term all the time, but we're not just looking to put heads in beds, right? So, we're very selective as to who we allow in the home, because we're creating an environment and a community that is, we're all working towards the same goal.
Yeah, and heads and beds is what we got out of, and we like to say that we're not in that anymore with the new
Yeah.
people and the older people that have learned so much, and how to handle homes and houses and treatment centers. That is a gone by issue here in Lee County. That's what I hope for. And then you also take care of the veterans. And have you had veterans in the home yet? Any?
Not yet, but I mean, veterans, people, homelessness or risk of, we'll facilitate people that are re-entering
Okay.
from incarceration.
Oh,
So,
Okay.
yeah, that's
Good.
great.
so
How many beds do you have?
we have 8 beds
All right.
and then one manager's facility, like they have their own bed. So, but eight beds.
All right. Are you full?
We are not. So, but we're getting there.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so what are some of the biggest obstacles people face after completing treatment, and how does Stepping Stone Wellness Living help them overcome their challenges?
I think a huge thing is people have to sit with themselves after sort of stuffing everything down. And that's very scary. And it's very new. And we welcome them to just come as they are, and we'll support, listen if they'd like, not judge, and, just encourage them. You're worthy and you're capable. And
it takes time.
yeah, it takes time,
It's
and
a little time.
Yeah.
it does. And you can come back to yourself many different times. It's okay. You can begin again. And in such a short time, some of the residents, I've watched them thrive and grow and smile again after telling me that they hadn't in so long, and wonder what was the purpose of even being here. And it's so important for people to just learn how to love themselves and be comfortable in your own skin. And really, none of us are.
Yeah.
I mean,
You
to
know,
your point
it's a
too,
process.
you didn't trust anybody, right? So we have a lot of women walk through the door and they don't trust us. So we have to show them that, that they can do that again.
And it's not so much that I think you're trying to hurt me. It's just, it's also, I'm not going to get what you say I'm going to get.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah.
And we're very authentic. We're the real deal. I mean, we have huge hearts, but we're going to hold you accountable. We want you to be successful, and we care about you. That's why.
I think that's important. I think by doing that, you show them that you do care. And
Right.
sometimes they don't get it in the beginning.
Yeah.
But, as time goes on, they really do get it. They
Yeah.
Absolutely.
understand what's going on.
For sure.
And if they're not structured, and if we don't give them some grace because this is a new brain at work, now they're all new, they're in your home, and they need a little grace, they need some
Yep.
time to let that brain grow and be as mature as it can be and be as successful as it can be.
To think about it differently.
Yeah,
Grace.
exactly.
Grace is the word. I'm always reminding people, give yourself some grace. You
Yeah.
can't do everything in one day.
No.
It takes time.
One
Everybody's
day at a time.
I want it, and I want it right now.
Right.
Yeah, everybody's in a hurry.
Right.
No, you're going to get better. You're going to do fine. Just
Yeah.
take it easy. And then us that belong to the family has to understand that too. That's why I think as time goes on, it's so important that we have all this in the schools, early age school, and I'm going in a different direction right now, but I want to, is that we have all this information in the schools as children grow, and then the parents and all this. It has to be a circle.
Yeah,
And
no
we all
question.
have to understand it because families don't understand what's
Correct.
going on.
Right.
And so they're apt to be not understanding about what's going on with their loved ones.
Yep.
And that's a terrible way.
Huge.
And our common theme is community.
Yes.
Yeah.
Community.
Absolutely.
And not one size fits all. Everyone is different. So
And then to that question, how can families best support a loved one? How can families do a better job? And that's what we look for because, you know, I'm part of that and, you know, we're all part of that. And how do we handle that? What's the best way for us to do that?
Mhm.
And without having the information we need, it's hard to understand it, you know, looking at somebody that's changed like that all of a sudden.
Right.
So how do we support families with that?
Well, I mean, I think, you know, you hit the nail on the head with just, you know, educating at a young age and you know, I think that the sort of the false stigmatism, you know, addiction gets is but if we're educated and we know, I think that's going to be the best path. And you know, let's get into the school systems and start showing the younger generation, you know, how to deal with it. You know,
Yeah,
sure.
it's great. I know I stayed after school a lot and learned all my stuff after
That's
school.
where I learned
That was
everything
detention.
after school.
I was detained all the time. What do you wish every person in Lee County understand about recovery housing and the people who live there? Because there's been a little stigma over the housing, you know, over the years, and it's changing too. So what do you guys, how do you work that out?
I mean, these are people. They're not numbers. They're not dollars. They're people.
Statistics.
Yeah, statistics and people are capable of great things if they're given the right environment, the right support, and if someone believes in you, that can change someone's life.
And
Yeah.
certainly addiction doesn't define the individual, right? So again, going back to the false stigmatism of, oh, he's a this or she's a that, you know, they're just people that need help. And,
Yeah.
and that's what we're doing.
Yeah, we have to separate people from behaviors, and I don't think that we were ever taught to do that. And that's huge. A behavior is really an indication of a struggle.
Yeah,
if
that's
it's
right.
if it's negative or toxic, someone needs help, most likely.
Yeah.
You know, mental health.
Yeah.
It's huge.
Mental health is huge, and we're going to get to that bottom of that barrel, hopefully, in the next 10, 20 years,
Yep.
something like that. If I'm not here, make sure you guys take care of that.
Okay, you got
Working
it.
on it. I'll be in the schools.
Can you share a success story, somebody that really was a great success for you? I know they're all successes, really, they are.
Yes.
You know, our groups that meet here, I mean, I walk around here and all I see is triumphs and success. These people are just doing it every day.
Well, and I
You
can
know,
be
so do you-
successful today, and then I can be unsuccessful tomorrow, but it doesn't erase the fact that I can still have a success in my life.
Sure.
You know, it
No.
doesn't,
No.
like you said, define me, and it doesn't mean I'm all done.
No, no, absolutely not.
My best friend since childhood, she's going on 10 years sober. She was very heavy into heroin and crack and alcohol and everything under the sun. And she goes to a meeting still every, I think, 2 or 3 a week. Just completely committed, changed her life. She works, she is happy, she has a child. I mean, all these things that she never ever imagined. But it's a huge commitment, and she now helps other people too, and speaks about her situation. And it's a beautiful thing to see, because she was in a place that we really didn't know she would ever come out of.
And so much of our self-worth comes from how our experience can help others.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Constant thought of others is the
Yeah.
foundation of my recovery.
That's right. Yeah, and that's what we think about all the time is how can we help somebody else? And everybody in this room here does that every day. Whether they know they do it or not, that's another story, but they
And
do
whether
it
you
every
get
day.
thanked for it or not, it still
Yeah,
comes from you, and it builds your own self-esteem.
that's right.
Absolutely.
John, you got some
Well,
wisdom?
it was something that was said earlier that sparked my interest. You said we don't just let anybody in. What is the criteria to get in?
Well, initially we will send you an intake form. We'll have you fill that out, and that's just some general information. But then I'm going to take that information and call you and have an interview with you on the phone.
So you're
Right.
mainly thinking about where their mindset is at. Do they really want recovery, or do they just want a
Exactly.
roof over their head? That type of thing.
Exactly.
They're going to be trying to. And do you have experience, like, for instance, from my experience, I know who's trying to play me because I was a player.
Yeah.
So so I can share how my own experience can benefit this and
Sure.
and understand this. And what you said is absolutely true. I forget the thought pattern you talked about, because I don't have a drinking problem. I got a thinking problem. And if I change the way I think, then I change the way I live. And that is so true. And I think you're doing an awesome job. What I did not know, if Al, did you realize that this company is FAR certified, which
Yes,
is Florida
yes.
Association of Recovery
Yes,
Residents?
that was my last question, but that's okay.
Oh, I am so sorry then. And that you also NAR certified, right? Which is
Correct.
the National Association of Recovery Residents. Well, very good. Now back to you.
Okay, no, this is great, John. I always like to have you up here to ask some questions. You think out of the box a lot, and I love you when you ask the questions. So it's all helpful to everybody here and then everybody listening, because they hear different views from different ones sitting up here, So it's a great thing. So if somebody's listening, somebody's listening right now, and how do they get in touch with you? Is it email? Is it
Yeah. So
phone?
And can I come from other places? Could I come here from New York if I?
There you
that's a
go.
great question.
Absolutely.
We have resident currently at the home that packed up her whole life and hopped in her car and drove down from Kansas City. And so to answer your question, yes, you can come from wherever you are,
Nice.
right? And I'm sorry, Al, your question was,
Yeah, I forgot.
Yeah.
To get how to reach us?
how to
Yes,
reach us.
exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. So you can reach us.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can reach us at
Giving you three
info
questions at a time.
Save the best for last.
at steppingstonewellnessliving.com. You could also message us on our website, which is steppingstonewellnessliving.com. That's probably the best way to get us. We're
We're on social
we're on
media
social
too.
media,
if people use
Facebook.
that.
Yeah.
Stepping Stone Wellness Living comes right up.
Yep. So
Okay, as we go along with that, just what's FAR certified mean? And what is the criteria for that?
there's lots of regulations and rules that the state requires us to adhere to. For example, we have to log all of our UAs, urine analysis and breathalyzers. We have to be a structured program. We have to have a resident orientation handbook. We have to have a process and procedure handbook. We have to have staffing documents. We have to have a fire evacuation plan, all sorts of things of that nature that the state requires us to have. And they also will periodically inspect the house.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. So,
And I had to become a CRRA, Certified Recovery Administrator. And basically, I mean, it really just helps you understand the laws, the rules. You have to study. There's a state exam. And I think it's really good because it's just another level of information education.
you don't need to be FAR certified to have a sober living home here in Florida,
Right.
but I wouldn't have it.
But if
any
you're
other way.
looking for a sober living home, you might want to consider that.
I agree. I mean, and, I just think it just sets the
Set you up. for
One of the
success.
things about FAR certification is that, and I might be wrong, is that you have to provide medically assisted treatment. In other words, you have to take some people on Suboxone.
Really?
So there is, for instance, we have somebody in our area that refuses to be FAR certified because he wants you to be clean and sober. And that means on all mind-altering substances, including Suboxone and Subutex. So that's one of the iffy things that's debatable, but you're doing a great job. and and just keep up the good work. You'll be at Party in the Park.
We will. Yes, we have a
Oh,
table.
Yeah,
Got a
we're
table?
very excited.
Yeah, when
about
is that?
That is September 12th.
There you
at
go.
Lake Kennedy.
That's a Saturday.
Very good. It is a Saturday, so you'll be able to. And Joy has to run. Joy has a prior commitment, and it's past the time for you to go. Al, do we have any more questions for this lovely couple?
No, I just want to tell you what an opportunity it was for us and our listeners to hear your story.
Thank you.
And to consider anybody that's in need of this help. Don't hesitate to give them a call. I spent quite a bit of time with them tonight, and they're very understanding and loving people. So they'll take good care of you, I'm
With
sure.
Chris, why don't you,
Thank you
Chris,
very
why don't you give that website out again?
Absolutely. So that is www.steppingstonewellnessliving.com.
Give
Phone
Chris
number.
and Lisa a round of applause. Great job. I also
Thank you.
I also have messaged. I work at a dual diagnosis treatment center during the day, and so we are always looking for FAR certified homes when our clients go from PHP to IOP and then ascend into the world. We always looking for great places to go. So I messaged my boss and gave her your information while you were doing this interview.
We
So
appreciate
thank
that.
you.
Thank you very much. Thank
See
you.
that, huh? I'm telling you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen,
All right.
we're going to take another break right now. When we come back, we have a very special woman that's going to be entertaining us. You're listening to Rated R for
Oh,
Recovery.
come on.
RatedRForRecovery.com. We'll be right back.
Great energy.
Great job.
Have you been charged with a crime? You could face serious penalties for conviction, and it is vitally important that you have skilled legal assistance on your side during this time. Call Brian L. Edwards, Esquire, attorney at law today. 888-512-6254. Results matter. With a track record of success, our methods are tried and true. Mistakes happen, but we can help. Brian L. Edwards, Esquire, attorney at law. Visit FortMyersCriminalLawFirm.com or call 888-512-6254.
Kimmy, I hope I'm making you proud.
He had a little girl named Kimmy with a laugh that lit the room. Then fentanyl came like a storm cloud and took her away too soon. He kneeled down by her bedside with a prayer he could not shake. Then he said, I won't just break here, I will build for others' sake. So he opened up the doors where the hurting could walk in, with a couch, a meal, a blanket, and a chance to start again. Kimmies Recovery Zone. Kimmies Recovery Zone. For our community. For our community. Where the hungry find a table and the lost can find a home. Kimmies Recovery Zone. Kimmies Recovery Zone. There are folding chairs and coffee. There are boxes by the wall. There are nights he stays up answering every single call. A father with a broken heart who turned pain into a light. Now he hands out help in silence till somebody makes it right. From the ashes of his sorrow, he made shelter out of grief. And now every soul that reaches finds a place to breathe. Kimmies Recovery Zone. Kimmies Recovery Zone. For a community. For a community. Where the hungry find a table and the lost can find a home. Kimmy's Recovery Zone. Kimmy's Recovery Zone. For Kimmy, he keeps going. For the ones who need a way. For the moms and dads and brothers who are fighting night by day. If your hands are full of falling, if your name feels
Kimmy, I hope I'm making you proud. Hi, this is Al Kinkle. We would like to invite everyone to Party in the Park 2026 on September 12th during National Recovery Month. This year's event will be held at Lake Kennedy Center in Cape Coral, Florida. For sponsorship packages and volunteer info, visit kimmiesrecoveryzone.org. Let's make this year's event the most memorable yet.
When children have to play inside so they don't disappear.
Welcome back to Rated R for Recovery.
We've used that song "Calling All Angels" that was written by a friend of mine, Charlie Colleen from the band Train, who absolutely was a wonderful, kind human being and passed away from a drug overdose in Brussels 2 years ago. Just a very sad thing, but addiction is a sad thing. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention this, that at Party in the Park, our keynote speaker will be Rosalind Osgood, who's a Florida State Senator for District 32. That's Rosalind Osgood. She will be the keynote speaker at Party in the Park. Right now, ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to introduce a future superstar. I have known this young lady for a number of years now. She's just all over the place getting her music out there. And actually, can people research you and go and find your music like on the Facebook or something yet?
Well, not yet.
But
I'm
it's
still
coming.
Pretty secret.
We're going to see about getting you into a recording studio as well. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our future superstar, vocalist Sara.
God knows what is hiding in those weak and drunken hearts. Guess he kissed the girls and made them cry, those hard-faced queens of misadventure. God knows what is hiding in those weak and sunken lives, fiery throngs of muted angels, giving love but getting nothing back. Oh, people, help the people. And if you're homesick, give me your hand and I'll hold it. People, help the people. Nothing will drag you down. Oh, and if I had a brain, oh, and if I had a brain, I'll be cold as a stone and rich as the fool that turned all those good hearts away. And God knows what is hiding in this world of little consequence, behind the fears, inside the lies, the thousand slowly dying sunsets. God knows what is hiding in those weak and drunken hearts. Guess the loneliness came knocking. No one needs to be alone, no singing. People, help the people. And if you're homesick, give me your hand and I'll hold it. People, help the people. Turned all those good hearts away.
You know, I have been associated in the music business for many, many years. So has my friend Al, who is the founder of Kimmies Recovery Zone. And I believe that you have great things to accomplish in your singing career, because I just found you. The way I found you was I'm friends with your partner Kayla, and Kayla and I have known each other for many, many years. You and I have met a couple of times, and we've always gotten along fine.
Yeah.
Always good times. And then Kayla started posting, or you started posting little videos of you doing karaoke, and that's how I found it. And I'm saying to myself, this is not good. This is really good. You're very
Thank
good.
you, John.
Would you do another song for us?
Yeah, of course.
Very good.
Thank you.
Give her another
Thank
round
you.
of applause.
Come on, skinny love, just last the year. Pour a little song we will never hear. My, 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 my. Staring at the sink of blood and crushed veneer. And tell my love to wreck it all. Cut out all the ropes and let me fall. My, 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 my. Right in the moment this order's told. And I told you to be patient, and I told you to be fine, and I told you to be balanced, and I told you to be kind. And in the morning I'll be with you, but it'll be a different kind. 'Cause I'll be holding all the tickets, and you'll be holding all the fire. Come on, skinny love, what happened here? Suckle on the hope and leprosy. My, 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 my. Soul and load is full, so slow on the split. And I told you to be patient, and I told you to be fine, and I told you to be balanced, and I told you to be kind. And now all your love is wasted, then who the hell was I? 'Cause now I'm breaking at the bridges, and at the end of all your life. Who will love you? Who will fight? And who will fall far behind? Come on, skinny love. My, 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 my. My, 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 my. Thank you.
Well, isn't that the whole package right there? You have the stage presence. You're a beautiful young woman. I think the world is your oyster right now. You'll be able to go very far with this. Give Sara another round of applause.
Thank you, John.
With your permission, I would like to start sending your music out to people in the industry. Would that be all right?
Yeah, I'd love
All right,
that.
I think I'm going to start doing that. Ladies and gentlemen, join us next week for another episode of Rated R for Recovery as we do an ongoing journey called Recovery. Thanks for watching. Please let everybody else know that you like us on YouTube and pass us around. Good night. Fucking awesome. Awesome.